Ma'am, we'll get started on the meeting. Good morning. I would like to call to order the Pasco Board of County Commission meeting, 10 o'clock meeting on February 11th, 2025. At this time, silence all electronic devices and mute your phones. Please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
O merciful Creator, your hand is open wide to satisfy the needs of every living creature. Make us thankful of your loving providence and grant that we, remembering the account that we must one day give, may be faithful stewards of your good gifts. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes, sir. District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Here.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
Present.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Here.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Here.
And District 3, Chairman Starkey is not present today.
Excused, but she is listening, but she's not participating. Help her meeting flow. Now's the time for public comment. Citizens are given an opportunity to comment on any current or future agenda item coming before the board and on other business under the board's purview. Today's public comment will be handled as follows. First, we will take public comment from those who are here in person. Then we will take public comment from those who are pre-registered for a WebEx link and currently on queue. We request that when you address the board, comments are not directed personally against a commissioner or team member, but rather directed at the issues. This provides mutual respect between the board members and the public. After stating your name and address for the clerk, a 3-minute timer will be activated. After 2 minutes, a single beep will indicate you have 1 minute left. When your time is up, 2 beeps will sound, and you should close your comments. WebEx participants will be disconnected automatically when their time is up. Mr. Clerk, do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
Yes, we have several, and I appreciate those who have printed clearly. So please, some of these are a little hard to read. Kimberly Barnes.
Hello. I'm Kimberly Barnes. My address is 36653 Palm Street, Dade City. Ready? In the early morning of October 10th, 2024, when Hurricane Milton hit, we went outside to assess what damages had been done, only to find our whole house surrounded in water, as far as the eye could see. The water extended down our road to other roads to our neighbors. The only way we were able to leave our home that morning was with a canoe that we were lucky that we had. Aside from rescuing ourselves and our children, we had to rescue our neighbors as well. All of our vehicles were either trapped or underwater. Days after the storm, we had in some areas at least 10 feet of water sitting in our yard. I understand Hurricane Milton was a 100-year storm. We had never had rainfall like this. My issue is our problems actually began long before Milton, when the city of Dade City annexed a property right in front of us and decided to allow 302 homes to be built. This development, called Heritage Hills, was controversial because it was what they referred to as a basin of special concern. Yes, we are in a low-lying area. We do get tired of hearing that. But this development also used to be in a low-lying area. They put a retention pond directly in front of us, which messes with the water table in our yard, so it's already saturated. Aside from the retention ponds, they put a pop-off drain right outside the fence line that drains straight down the road, which is on a county easement. We actually experienced major flooding from this pop-off drain in 2022, long before hurricane almost flooded the neighbor's house. Mr. Oakley actually came out to our property that day to try to help us. He did push the city to do some stuff and to drain some of the culverts. Although no one seems eager to help because we reside in the county, the city doesn't really want to do much for us, even though the development is in city limits. Multiple calls have been made to Swift Mud in the city since 2022. Now that a major hurricane hit, I have no answer still. Our house sustained flood damage, and we are unable to get contractors back to our property and any work done because our road is still inaccessible. We are still out of our home. We are actually living in a different home than our children right now, which is extremely upsetting to me because No one should have to do this. But no one's claiming responsibility for this pop-off drain, which I believe entrapped my family and my neighbors during this hurricane, in which we were not able to get out safely. The drain still sits over the fence line of this development with dead trees and it's unmaintained. I am still waiting for answers after 2 years of who is responsible for this and why it's allowed to be placed there. My husband has lived on this property his whole life. His grandparents lived on this specific piece of property. It is sad because we've been treated throughout the years and disregarded because of our vocal concerns about the flooding, even before this storm, even before this development was even thought of. All of this continued development flows into this basin. Am I done? Okay, thank you.
Is Bradford here? Bradford Public Works, please talk with the lady. Ma'am? Bradford's coming up. He'll talk with you about the flooding. I know we have teams out in Dade City right now this today looking at this, have been, but want to take your specific situation, take a look at. Next person.
Patrick Knight.
Good morning. My name is Patrick Knight. I live at 37423 Moore Drive in the Hickory Hills neighborhood. Thank you for allowing me to speak on this issue. My first comment is I actually built a new home in Hickory Hills. It was my retirement dream home, and it was 60, 70 feet above sea level. I didn't want it to live anywhere around water. And the field behind me was high and dry, all around me was high and dry. But this dream home has turned out to be actually the opposite. And I'm presenting to you some questions. My first question is, since we're still having a lot of flooding, the flooding actually came to the edge of my foundation, and there was some resolution with the tanker trucks coming in, and that really helped a lot. It helped helped recede the water. But that was stopped abruptly, and there's still water in my yard and erosion on the back of my property. But what I'd like to know is, what measure is the county now doing to purge floodwaters from Hickory Hills? Apparently, some steps were taken a few weeks ago, but then it stopped, And I called the county, and they said FEMA was out of money. That's what I was told, or FEMA stopped. And I don't think that's what I understand, not a FEMA issue. And I'd also like to know, what measures is the county taking to prevent this from happening again? I mean, pumps, culverts? A stormwater system is really needed in Hickory Hills. And I'd also like to know what steps are being taken to ensure Morningside Drive construction and new development at Tara Woods will not affect future flooding. With all this enhanced elevations, it's only going to exacerbate the problem. And my last comment is, why did this happen? Water drained from the Lake Javita area 4 days after the hurricane. There was no water behind us, and all of a sudden, flooding occurred. So apparently, this water was coming from somewhere else. And someone from the county on YouTube said that it was actually draining from the Lake Javita area. So I'd appreciate any comment on that. Thank you for your time.
All right, so, sir, we don't comment in public comment, but I will tell you the team is out there looking at it today. We're looking for a long-term solution. If you would go out, the gentleman just went out there, Branford and Jason, talk with them, please. Thank you. Next person.
Maureen Gontarek.
Maureen had asked me an extra 5 minutes. She's an HOA president from Beacon Park, so our,
Thanks, Jack.
the state's.
I have the PowerPoint up.
You don't have additional time for group. The board can grant it, but in public comment, there's no additional time.
So I'd like to give, if it's okay with the board, give her 5 minutes. She wants to speak for the whole association.
Okay.
That's the rezoning.
Just the second one.
Okay.
Next one. Okay, this is what I'm going to be talking about today. My name is Maureen Gontark. I live at 8620 Regal Lane, Hudson, Florida. I'm currently the HOA president of the Estates and Reserves of Beacon Woods. I'm here today representing our community to share the frustrations of our community as it pertains to the construction of Beacon Park. You'll notice that up there in the corner. My objectives here today, a brief history of our community, update the Board of Commissioners regarding the disruption and negative impacts on the construction phase of Beacon Park, causing our community. Sharing the annoyances that we have witnessed in the various disregards by the developer, the employees, and their various contractors engaged in this construction. And lastly, understand the county's approach to resolving these issues. Brief history, we're found off of Hudson and Little Road, the Estates and Reserves, and we're an established development of 35 years young with 480 homes paying property tax to Pasco County. Until a few years ago, we were a golf course community. We no longer. Matt Lohman closed the Links Golf Course. Beacon Park is a development behind our houses on the northwest side of the Estates and Reserve. This development has passed a myriad reviews needed to proceed with such development, eventually being approved by this very same Board of Commissioners. Today, I'm here to discuss how the taxpayers are being negatively affected by Pasco County's lack of success enforcing the approved plans set by these Board of Commissioners. The permitted plans approved directed all construction routes to go from Beacon Point development off of Aqua Clara and not the Estates and Reserves on Tennyson and Poe. If you'll note right here, Aqua Clara, that little yellow strip, is 0.11 miles to the Beacon Park. The blue and the purple going in are just under a mile for the construction route that they're taking now, and they're not supposed to be taking that. Currently, the developer is using Tennyson and Poe as the entrance to circumvent the county planning and development plan that was agreed upon construction route. The developer is using hauling trucks, vehicles, dump trucks, 18-wheelers with diesel, sod, dirt, and sand throughout our community. I'm also going to be submitting this presentation. I have emailed it to Gina, and you'll see our routes here. Aqua Clara was the agreed upon access point for the developers. Despite our efforts early summer of 2024, contacting county officials, commissioners, Sheriff's Department, and Pasco code enforcement, amongst many emails, we have not seen any produced tangible results. Confusion by the county officials, and the developer initially claimed that they had the right to go through the Estates and Reserves. It wasn't until December 23 of 2024 that David Engel, county employee, produced the agreed upon construction route. And I quote, "The 2022 mass grading permit conditions and the only haul route for this project is Aqua Clara Drive." Accordingly, David Engel sent out the notice to the builder to cease and desist all traffic on our entrance. Well, during the holidays, our community experienced a significant disruption. Over 180 dump trucks entering and exiting, carrying loads of dirt, sand, diesel, and causing road messes. The construction vehicles are still using our neighborhood today. Our residents remain concerned. We have property damage to at least 3 properties that I know of. The maintenance on our roads, no videos have been taken by the county or the developer for our roads, but they were taken for Aqua Clara. The developer will not return phone calls to our residents that have damage. We've called for noise ordinance, and we have loud machines running day and night. And oh, by the way, the screeching alarms at 5:30 are even on Sundays. That's also a code violation. We've had hazardous conditions. We've had persistent speeding, contractor vehicles almost hitting a resident with his dog, and the contractors parking on our streets, making it difficult for our residents to maneuver around. Significant dropping of sand and dirt still continues, and now there's mud. environmental conditions, we've got diesel leaks all over our roads. And in the packet, you will see the diesel marks on our roads. What was the county's response? It's been minimal. The county has responded to a limited lip service and emails, setting plastic barricades, street sweepers last week for the mud, and conducting 1 week of traffic evaluations. None of these actions have changed the behavior of the developer, the employees, or the various contractors they're using. Our homeowners are expected to follow laws. We're held accountable to the various code enforcements. So should that developer be held for those same? The county agencies have not held this developer accountable, nor have they enforced these plans agreed upon by you. So I leave you with this. Is it unreasonable to ask, when will the developer be held accountable for this agreed upon permit? And how will our homeowners know these expectations for the county codes for these laws to be implemented for this developer? And why are there not concrete barriers stopping the developer today? I appreciate your time for listening to us.
Thank you, Maureen. I've got David Allen in the back, David Engel's here as well. They're ready to go meet with you and your board members downstairs to talk it further. And I'll just say to the board, this developer is the worst one I've ever dealt with. They have been rude. They've been just ignored everything and trying to take advantage of where they could use a local road, they say, to get into it instead of using the construction road that was given to them in a very positive way compared to what they were supposed to go on Buffalo Drive initial. So it's been very, very tough on the residents.
If there's any more of my residents from my community, I saw one or two come with us. Thank you. Thanks, Jack.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Doreen and Victor Loomis.
Good morning.
Well,
How y'all doing this morning?
okay.
I'm not doing too good. My name is Victor Lemus. I live at 12518 Fort King Road in Dade City, Florida, and I'm here to address the continued flooding on the access road to my house. We have no entrance, no exit. Commissioner Moreno was gracious enough to come out and inspect and view, and we addressed the problems. And I just want to reaffirm that this is a safety hazard. We have been locked out of our property for 4 months. There's no access for emergency medical, emergency fire. If there's a fire, if there is a heart, if I die, you're carrying me out in a body bag. We have to get this water off the road. Your constituents need to have access to their property. You know, this is the United States of America, the most wealthiest, richest country in the world. And we're living like we're in a third world country. I don't think that's acceptable. I hope you all don't think that's acceptable. All my neighbors on Moore Road and Hickory Hills are fighting the same battle, and we need a short-term resolution immediately and a long-term resolution in the future. And I don't think that's asking too much. You know, I'm at the point now where the train is leaving the station here at Pasco County, and it's heading up 75, and it's not going to stop until it gets to the governor's desk. So I'm asking you, be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tim, I'm going to say Eldon on Apache Street.
Who's after that?
Scott Smooth?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr.
Tom.
Tim or Tom?
Tom Frame.
Tom.
Tom Frame. Here representing Betmar Acres Club Incorporated, and we are a 1,673 unit mobile home park in Zephyr Hills, Florida. Okay, may I pass out a handout?
A motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I think you have 7, right? Okay, we came here to make an appeal to this board okay? We would like this board to address our issue. Our issue is, we believe that Mike Wells, the Pasco County property appraiser, is charging us non-ad valorem special assessments in violation of Florida Statute 193. Okay, the packet has numerous handouts. I've been fighting this since January of 2024. Okay, on one of the handouts, then Attorney General Charlie Crist, back in 2024, said that the Florida legislature had the correct idea in not charging common area properties of a subdevelopment for non-ad valorem taxes. And the reason they didn't do that is so they could not be sold at a tax auction. We have been paying this for years. Okay, anybody I've talked to hasn't helped us with this issue. Okay, the property appraiser's office says this statute, Florida 193, doesn't pertain to them. Okay, Jordan Wolfgram, one of your attorneys, stated to me that statute 193 doesn't apply, and she quoted me a case on the City of Gainesville versus the state and the Department of Transportation. That case does nothing more than to support our case that these taxes are charged to us in air, because that case ruled that the City of Gainesville could charge these utility fees. And we're not arguing the fact that these fees have to be paid in Pasco County. We understand that. All we're saying is that they should be spread over all our development. And that Gainesville case said that the state, if they were charged the utility fee as a utility fee, would have to pay it. But if they're charged it as a non-ad valorem special assessment, they were exempt from paying it. And that's the same contention that we're making. Our request is to be placed on the March agenda so that we can discuss this further and to have an opinion. You will have time to digest that then, and then we'll have an opinion from you guys, okay, as the reference in this matter. We do not want to go to litigation.
To be clear, we understand that the county has to have a certain amount of money in order to run. What we're saying is the wrong parties are being charged.
Name and address.
The lot owners need to be charged instead of
sir,
the
your name and-
corporation as a
your
whole.
name and
Scott
address?
Walksmith, 36919 Terra Ave, Zephyr Hills. Thank you.
No, sir, you can keep going if you want.
Yes, it clearly states in the statute, it says the value of each parcel of land that is or been part of a platted subdivision that is designed on the plat or approved plat as a common element for the exclusive benefit of the lot owner shall, regardless of ownership, be prorated by the property appraiser and included in the assessment of the lots within the subdivision which constitute inventory for the developer or are intended to be conveyed, in this case, they have been conveyed into private ownership for the exclusive benefit of the lot owners within the subdivision. That's a lot written by lawyers for lawyers to interpret, but our interpretation of this law is the county's entitled to its money. They're just charging the wrong parties.
Okay.
And we would like that straightened out.
All right, we'll get with our county attorney office to review it. I mean, obviously, I've never seen this document before and just hearing of this for the first time, so it's going to take some time to look at it, but we'll have them our county attorney to reach out to you and set a meeting up to review it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Eric Clayton.
Name's Eric Clayton, live at 12704 Green Oak Lane in Hickory Hills. And I'm here to speak on the flooding in the Hickory Hills area. I wasn't supposed to have to deal with this. My house was flooded in 2004. My dad fought this fight. He's since passed, so now I'm fighting this fight. We were told then that it was a 100-year flood and that it would never happen again. And then this mountain comes through and dumps an outrageous amount of water on the community. And now it's a 200-year flood. Mr. Oakley and Mr. Marino both have been out to my property to see where this water lays at and where it's supposed to be moving. And I think you both know at the moment that the water isn't moving. This all backs up to Mr. Loomis's property and all the other people in Hickory Hills. And if we could fix the elevations, this water would move through out to 301, under 301, and all the way to the Withlacoochee River where it's supposed to. I realize it's not as simple as how I'm saying it, and there's a lot of things that go into getting this done. I'm also aware that to grow a community, you have to build. Well, when you build, you take away the earth and you put in concrete. The concrete can't absorb like the earth can. I'm not opposed to growth. What I'm opposed to is that we need to fix the things that we can fix before we do this growth. It's inevitable. That's how communities grow. I get that. I would just like you guys to remember us, in 2004, it was Commissioner Schrader, we're going to get this fixed. I've spent many a day with Mr. Oakley, who's been gracious enough to hear me out over the past 5 to 10 years. We're going to get this fixed. I would just like to see a little follow through, in the near future. It's just a lot of people being affected by this. And I know it's a bigger task than I'm making it out to be, but just a little push to get things done before we build more would go a long way. I appreciate you guys letting me speak today. Thank you.
Robert Tucker.
Morning, Robert Tucker, 37451 Moore Drive, Hickory Hills. Just want to reiterate what Mr. Clayton just said, other than the fact that I've been in the neighborhood for 32 years. In 1998, we had a flood. The water rose to a level that was reasonable, I would say. No one really lost their homes at that time, to my knowledge. The water flowed out under the railroad bed that all of you are familiar with and know that it's there. Between 98 and 2004, the property owners on the east side of that railroad bed went through, reconfigured the drainage outlet ditch, actually added soil, backfilled. And so in 2004, when we flooded, the water had nowhere to go. It tried to go, but it couldn't because it was being impeded by the one culvert, excuse me, the one culvert and the elevation changes on the east side of that railroad bed. So at that time, the county came in, they placed pumps graciously, and they pumped 24/7 until they got the water down to where it needed to be. After that, the county came in and added another culvert. And at that time, we were told this would never happen again. Well, here we are. And the reason the culverts are there, but the water's sitting in the culverts because it cannot flow because of the elevation changes on the other side of the railroad bed, and no one seems to want to address that. So that's my question is why, and thank you for your time.
Janice Duffy.
Hi, Janine Duffy, 5550 Front Drive, Holiday, Florida. So everybody's in such a mood today, which I understand, but these are exciting times ahead. We have a new president who is for the people, fighting for American values and putting citizens first. And since you proudly call yourselves Trump supporters, I know it is safe to assume that you will follow his lead, correct? The residents of Pasco County are looking forward to seeing the great things you're all going to do to support President Trump's vision. Lower our taxes, audit the budget, dismantle mosquito control, protect our land and water, stop rezoning, a 5-year moratorium on all residential development to catch up on severely lacking infrastructure, help those flooded by our overdevelopment, adequate services for mental health and addiction, last but not least, a full AI audit on every department in our county. Let's start there. Thank you for making these a priority and moving in President Trump's speed. We are looking forward to the changes. We are in a new year, and I think it's time for everybody to flip the switch. Act like Republicans, do what the people ask. Things are happening at the top, they're gonna come down. Let's meet in the middle. I'm trusting that you're all gonna, from now on, make better decisions for your residents that live here. We've been crying out for years. Thank you.
Donna DeLeo.
Which we'll come back for there.
We'll come back to it, okay. Lisa Moretti.
Morning, Lisa Moretti, 16331 Iola Woods Trail. Sorry about my voice. I'd like to draw your attention to the recent Planning Commission meeting because unfortunately, it turned into something of a circus. It was a quasi-judicial hearing on the Evans 80 project. And the disrespect shown to our commissioners and our county staff by the applicant was simply remarkable. At the end of the meeting, I approached the applicant to say, please come back to the table for a community meeting and sit down with us so we can find a solution that will work for everybody. At which point he began screaming at me and trying to bully me, which I don't take well. I don't believe in bullying you. I don't believe in bullying our staff. And I certainly don't believe in bullying me. And so I stood up for myself. Downstairs, I was in the hallway, just standing by the bathroom. And he again came up to me and got in my face and bullied me again. That's unacceptable in our county. During a quasi-judicial hearing, also, people that are affected parties should have the right to respond to things that are said. That wasn't allowed. And we run a meeting in a very prescribed manner. And so when the applicant is constantly jumping up to the podium when not being asked to come is not acceptable. I felt so badly for Mr. Goldstein because the applicant talked over him and was rude to him, was rude to Mr. Engel. It was absolutely deplorable behavior, and I think it's unacceptable in our county. So I'd like to remind you all that we're stakeholders too, that we care deeply about where we live, and we care deeply about what you do and how we all can work together. So I'm hoping that you will ask the applicant's representative, I get it, he's supposed to represent his client, and he does it in the best way he thinks possible, but bullying you, bullying this community, that's not the way to do it. On another note, I'd also like to add to the growing body speaking about flooding issues. The folks over in King Lake and part of the connected cities still have issues there too. So I hope that you'll also consider them in when you address what kind of things are going on in the county. Thank you so much.
Donna DeLeo. Yep. Yep.
I would like to speak about the flooding. Oh, I'm sorry.
Name and address for the record.
Okay,
please.
my name is Donna DeLeo, Stanford Family Property, and my address is 8621 Aaron Cutoff. Okay, and I just would like to speak about the flooding that we're having over off of Aaron Cutoff. And it was definitely, we had the storm, and by this point it should have subsided, but it did not. And come to find out, Aaron had these big pumps pumping to my lake, okay, their water, because they didn't care about us. They only cared about themselves. Now, Mr. Waitman, I understood that you stopped the pumps the first time, but Lennar did not listen to you. You did not keep a watch on it. I guess some way the watch didn't keep on it. Well, they started pumping again, and they pumped a lot. My son rode out in his kayak. It was up to his knees one day. The next day, once y'all shut the pumps off again, you went out there and made them take them out, okay? They're down to my son's ankles. What is that telling you? The water's starting to subside now. The county allowed Lennar Homes, I'm sorry, I was out speaking to somebody. The county allowed Lennar Homes to pump the water into my lake, okay? And it's going like, they have the property tilted there, which we're still going to have problems because of the way the engineers allowed Lennar Homes to build there. I mean, so you're going to have problems on Aaron Cutoff every time something happens, you know, an event. But most of the times I've lived out that area, my family has, for a long time, since 1975, okay? So I've never seen this. I realize a hurricane came through, but there was other hurricanes and storms and stuff, okay? I'm 71 years old, and I've seen other things. So I just want you to know, kind of under your stewardship, y'all kind of failed us because y'all didn't keep making sure that the pumps were not pumping. And there was no filters on these pumps, and now there's a bacteria in my lake. So there is pollution, which I'm not happy with it. So I want to thank you for shutting them off the first time. But the fact that someone did not keep check on it, because the water probably would have been down more, that my son found it about 3 weeks ago. I'm sure I've tried to talk to you this, but you've seen the film that Kyle took. And I mean, that's proof of that Lenore caused it. And by this point, you would have never had to have trucks out there pumping on air and cutoff. Never. It's never happened like that. And that's my opinion, okay? Very nice to let me speak. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, that's all we have signed up in advance.
Okay.
There are none online.
Is there anyone else here from the public that would like to speak? That's all right. Come right up, sir. And if anyone else would like to speak, please line up behind this gentleman. Others will end public comment, go into the queue after this.
First of all, my name is Jack 2, Brenda 2 at 3010 Diana Drive. And you guys have a heck of a job. I wouldn't want it. I want to thank you for your service first and foremost. I'm not here to complain about something. I want to bring something to you're aware of it. You guys know the homeless situation in the county. We have a not-for-profit that we started. We want to comply with all the zoning and coding. So we would like to get direction from our commissioner in District 1 and see if they can help us find property that would be suitable for me to build a shelter and maybe even help with the property. Nobody wants a homeless shelter in their backyard. And, but you know, they need love and they need a place to stay. So basically, I'm in the season of my life where I want to give back and I need your guidance. So I've left some of our credentials. If I give them to them or either give them to Commissioner Oakley, whichever you prefer.
Move approval. Second.
Want to take a motion?
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye. Yeah, I'll take them.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate your time.
All right, so we're going to end public comment in here. Is there anyone else online?
Somebody standing over there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hello, thank you for allowing me to talk. My name is Paula Chacon. I live at 12526 Fort King Road. And my property is sitting in a 10.4 acre. As this water, it's been flooded. My road is inaccessible for the past 4 months. The only thing I have available at my house is maybe less than an acre. That's where my house is sitting. We've been struggling to go through a backdoor's house, through a neighbor, to another neighbor to get to my house. We had to put our dogs had to be gone from our property because it was not safe for them. Now at this point, the water has a smell. There's so many mosquitoes. My husband has to go get propane on his own and water for us to cook and to drink. And it's not safe. I have health issues, and in case I would have to get an emergency call, there's no way the fire department or the ambulance will be able to go in there. And I really ask for you guys to help us because it's been 4 months that we have no access through our road. We have no access to the waste management. We have to be carrying out the garbage somewhere else. And I really ask you guys to help us with all this. Thank you. Thank you for your time and listening to us.
Mr. Chairman, the group that was outside has moved downstairs. That's speaking to this, you might want to go down and join them.
You want me to go downstairs?
Yeah, the group that you might go, they moved downstairs because it was too loud.
Okay, I'm gonna get my.
Okay. All right, so that'll close public comment inside here. Is there anyone else online?
No, sir.
Okay. I'll just make a quick statement just to let everyone know that our team is actually working very actively. Commissioner Oakley, he's helped me on my side, I'm helping him on his side. We're all working together to try to solve these issues, not only for the short term, which is critical, because we don't want to see an exacerbation of the problem that we had last year with the storms coming in, but also for the long term as well. And they're actively working on it, so be patient with us as we try to go through it. You are being listened to. Okay, so I don't close public comment. Now's the time for resolutions.
Yes, sir. Resolution number 25-116, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, presenting the 5A High School's Fire Science Program with the donation of a E1 Typhoon fire pumper as a token of appreciation for the program's partnership in promoting fire science education and exposure to the career path to the youth of Pasco County. Whereas the Pasco County Board of County Commissioners recognizes the importance of education and workforce development, especially in the fields of public safety and emergency response, and whereas the Fire Science Program at 5A High School has demonstrated a strong commitment to providing high-quality educational opportunities for students interested in pursuing careers in firefighting and emergency services, and whereas this program has fostered valuable partnerships with local fire service professionals, agencies, and organizations in Pasco County, strengthening community engagement and support for public safety education. And whereas 5A High School's Fire Science Program has contributed significantly to the development and exposure of the next generation of fire service professionals and public safety leaders. And whereas the Pasco County Board of County Commissioners desires to support and enhance the educational efforts of the Fire Science Program at 5A High School, and whereas, as a token of appreciation for the program's outstanding contribution to the youth of Pasco County and its dedication to promoting fire science education, the Pasco County Board of County Commissioners has agreed to donate an E1 Typhoon fire pumper to the 5A High School Fire Science Program. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby acknowledges and expresses its appreciation to 5A High School's Fire Science Program for its outstanding contribution to the education and career development of the youth of Pasco County, recognizes the value of and encourages the continued partnership between Pasco County and 5A High School, and donates a E1 Typhoon fire pumper to 5A High School's Fire Science Program as a symbol of its appreciation and an enhancement to the educational resources available to the students of the program. This donation will assist in providing students with hands-on experience and training in the operation and maintenance of fire apparatus, furthering the program's mission to prepare future fire service professionals. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 11th day of February, 2025.
So a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay.
All right. Well, first of all, I am honored and excited to present this resolution to you all today. As a mom of 5 and someone who worked for the school board for the past 10 years, I'm a huge advocate of all the academies and all the technical education opportunities that our students have. I want to thank Pasco Fire Rescue for donating the fire truck to our students so they have hands-on learning experience while you guys are training to be firefighters. My son is in the cadet program, and every Monday he comes back so excited and just learning so much. So I want to say thank you to Pasco Fire Rescue and 5A High School for everything you do inside the classroom and outside the classroom. And I want to thank you for investing in our youth, our future firefighters. It does not go unnoticed. So thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner. Ryan Gwen, Fire Chief. First of all, I have to start by thanking everybody in the county that made this possible. It's not just Fire Rescue, you for the resolution, the entire board for, this isn't the first donation we've made with 5A. This is a continuing relationship that we've had, and it's been super beneficial. Thank you to Ms. Gina for getting the resolution on. Thank you for Fleet for helping us find the apparatus to be able to donate. It really is a monumental task to get to this point. So, but we're proud to have this relationship. We've worked with 5A. They are trying to grow in-home Pasco County firefighters, and that's exactly what we want, and that's exactly what we look forward to. So it's been a great relationship so far. We've enjoyed it, and we hope to continue it. So with that, I'd like to give Dr. Romano a second.
Thank you. So good morning, and we just are here to show our sincere gratitude. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, commissioners, and staff. On behalf of Pasco County Schools and the 5A High School Fire Science Academy, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude for the generous donation of this fire truck. This contribution significantly enhances our training capabilities and provides our students who are here with us today with invaluable hands-on experiences. Our longstanding partnership with the Pasco County Fire Rescue has been instrumental in the success of the 5A High School Fire Science Academy. We, several years ago, when I first came on board in the director position over career and technical education, Fire Chief Gwynn and our team and his team went up to Alachua County and learned about their program there and brought that back. And it's been a longstanding partnership since the very beginning. We are deeply appreciative of Fire Chief Gwynn and his team's unwavering support and dedication to our program. Their commitment has been a cornerstone in preparing our students for future careers in fire service. I would now like to introduce Lieutenant Smith, our Fire Science Academy instructor, and his students, who will now share a brief word of gratitude. Thank you again for your continued support of this program.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Lieutenant Steve Smith. I'm the instructor at 5A High School's Fire Science program. On behalf of the staff at Pasco County Schools Career Technical Education Program and 5A High School, I want to extend our deepest appreciation to Pasco County Fire Rescue for their extremely generous donation of a fire engine to support our program. This is more than just a vehicle. It's a transformative gift that will profoundly impact on our students' education and future careers. Thank you again, Pasco County Fire Rescue, for your continued and unwavering support. Without your support, our program would not be as successful. The practical hands-on experience this fire engine provides is invaluable. While a fire hydrant offers a basic understanding of water pressure, the fire engine allows us to simulate a wide range of realistic firefighting scenarios. Our students will gain mastery of crucial techniques, including hose line evolutions, pump operations, and emergency vehicle familiarization. Skills simply impossible to teach effectively without this equipment. This enhanced training will not only increase their competency and confidence, but also significantly improve their job prospects upon graduation. Your contribution represents a vital investment in the future of our community. By equipping our students with the highest quality training, you're directly enhancing public safety. Thank you again for your unwavering commitment to 5A High School and our community. Your support is greatly appreciated. I'd like to introduce two of my Firefighter 3 students, Maya Amerson and Ryan Mell, to speak about our program and appreciation of the donation.
Hello, I'm Ryan Mell. I'm a student at 5A High School Firefighter 3. I want to give our appreciation to our fire truck as we were learning basic operations of pump operations, how we're going to set up our engine, how engines set up in Pasco County, and how to not work on a fire engine, sorry, on how we would do our pre-checks for an engine, check our equipment, everything like that. And like I said, thank you, Fire Rescue, and thank you for y'all for your support.
Thank you. Great job.
All right. Commissioner Oakley.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for coming, and it's just great news to continue hearing good things happening with our firefighters. Your support as you're graduating students into the world of work and do the things and already been trained, I know is going to, Chief Gwynn and his team are looking forward to using them because I think they've already started the D shift, and more and more things are happening to the good for our citizens of Pasco County. So for all of you, I appreciate and support everything that you're doing. to make firefighting better for our citizens. Thank you.
Mr. Waitman?
Thank you, Chair. You know, what a great way to retire a piece of equipment, put it back to work. So Chief and JJ and everybody, thanks for thinking outside the box and partnering with the school system. You know, there's a pipeline coming out of Pasco schools, and very glad to see that y'all are trying to capture those who are eager and want to serve and continue their life's journey here in Pasco County. So thank you all.
I'd like to say I greatly appreciate this program. 5A's near and dear to my heart. My two girls graduated there and had a great time there. Thank you, Eric. All right. And this program is exciting to me. When I first started back in 2004, we had firefighters, we had EMS, sometimes we were cross-trained, sometimes not. We tried to push to make that broad spectrum across. And I think with this, all the improvements where no more volunteers, everyone's paid, the careers are good, and now with the D shift, even better, we can do so many other things in your life, as well as being a firefighter to give you a great quality of life. I'd like to see how we're going along the line. Maybe you can educate me a little bit more, Lieutenant. I would like to see a program that we could put together that when they actually graduated high school, they could be ready to go, almost to be fully certified. Maybe not all the EMS, but the other parts of it to be done. Because if you can set that stage up, it's a little expensive and time consuming to actually go through that whole process. But I think as a firefighter supporters, as we all are, that if we can help make it to that next level up, even if we got to do some more enhancements to the program, I'm sure we'd like to see that happen to help these guys get at least the firefighting part done and let them go work on the EMS while they're working or something. We're open to discussion every step of the way. All right. All right.
You
Thank
guys want to stand here? We'll take a picture.
Yeah, with somebody, I guess we'll stay up here.
Josh, you stand next to me.
Right.
I made the right decision.
So you had your delirium exposure before bed last night?
All right, one more. Oh.
All right. Seriously, what if you want to get that all the way through? Right? Perfect. Well, good. But we're 100% behind you. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thanks for helping out.
Thank you for all you
One more resolution, yeah. It is JM. It's the All-Star.
Oh, stop before.
That was from that public comment.
All right, thank you.
There's quite a few parchments on that, on this thing. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, just for the record, note that the donation on the resolution is also contingent on C-22 on the consent agenda that's upcoming.
Nothing like pressure. Okay.
You ready for the next one?
We're ready for the next public comment, yes. A very special one here.
All right, resolution number 25-117, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, commending the 2024 Star Performer, Star Leader, and Star Team of the Year. If they're present, if they could come forward. Whereas each year, Pasco County recognizes a Star Performer of the Year, Star Leader of the Year, and Star Team of the Year from each branch. And whereas Hannah Braley, Wade Bedward, Larry Arcade, Patricia Christ Yingling, and Sergeant Michael Brady have been selected to receive the 2024 Star Performer of the Year award, and Karen Stanley, Eric Jacobson, Scott Brown, Christopher Dutter, and Captain David Garofalo have been selected to receive the 2024 Star Leader of the Year award. And whereas during the back-to-back hurricanes of 2024, stories of service above and beyond the call of duty came from all parts of the organization. So many so that singling out just a few teams would have understated the work our team did for the community. For this reason, the 2024 Star Team of the Year award will be shared by all Pasco County team members. And whereas for an organization to become premier, it must attract, grow, and support a workforce of servant leaders that are dedicated to improving the lives of people, contribute to a purpose larger than their individual job, and perform at the highest possible level day in and day out. And whereas these 2024 award recipients consistently demonstrate Pasco County's core values through an impeccable work ethic, dedication to service excellence, and achieving quality outcomes in every situation. They serve as an example to their fellow team members of going above and beyond and exemplify the expectations of Star Performer of the Year, Star Leader of the Year, and Star Team of the Year. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, the said board hereby congratulates our 2024 Star Award winners for Pasco County and commends them for outstanding efforts in serving our community to create a better future. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 11th day of February, 2025.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Larry, glad to see you made it back. One time during the storms, one time we were out in Green Key, and this gentleman's on his ground reaching into a tube to go see if the water is flowing or not. So I just want to say, Mike Carbella, before you speak, I want to just say a couple of things. You know, Pasco County, I want to say right now, is premier. We're going to get better and better and get better, but we are premier. I want to say, everywhere I go, we talk about the storms and what went through and what every team leader, every team person, all the way through the people that you work with every day, the people are thrilled with what that response was every step of the way. And I know all the things we're working on, and we're going to deal with growth issues and flooding issues and all the things we're still working on, but that makes us striving to get better and better, which we're going to continually do. But I want to just say that I think that you can feel good about how the people are perceiving what's going on in this county in a positive way. So I want to thank you and all your team members for all the great work you're doing. Go ahead, Mike.
Yep, thank you. This is phenomenal, and I think that it's wonderful that this is happening on the heels of Employee Appreciation Day, where we showed our employees how much they really mean to us. But this group behind me right here really excelled. They excelled as leaders. They have excelled as individuals in their careers. And as the resolution points out, it was so difficult to really pull a team together after what happened last year. We actually learned the meaning of team, I would say, that we all worked together, broke down silos and barriers. It was simply amazing. But again, I can't say it enough that the support of the board here with these folks here is just phenomenal. As you say, Mr. Chair, it helps us get to where we are in being premier. So I thank you. I thank the board for this recognition.
Mr. Oakley?
Yep. I can tell you, I know we're getting premier when we got these kind of leaders leading the rest of our staff. And our staff, they can tell you, and I know each one of them would say that, their team behind them is the best. So it wouldn't rise everybody to the top without a great team behind us all. So I appreciate everything y'all have done during these times, and never say never, because there will be some back, because it continues to happen. But our staff and our employees seem to step up when it's time to step up and do the right job. So I thank you all for that.
Mr. Whitten.
Thanks, Chair. You know, you can work about anywhere you want to in this country. And the fact that you all chose to come to work in the public service field, you know, likely taking a pay cut for what the private sector is doing right now, just means a lot. And we represent the citizens of Pasco County and also you as well. And so thank you for choosing to work for Pasco, work for the folks here. And you can rest assured that day in, day out, you have the support of this board to help do your job as effectively as you can, as safely as you can, and try to have a level of a work-life balance that makes your work life and your private life good. So hopefully we continue on that trend here in Pasco County. And congratulations to everyone countywide on your wonderful work this last year, and looking forward to see what we can accomplish in 2025.
Commissioner Yeager.
I just want to say thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for your service and your dedication to Pasco County. We are the premier county, and I'm super proud of our fire rescue and all of our first responders.
And again, I'll just say that thank you for the great service you're doing. I know you got great team members behind you, but we greatly appreciate every bit you did, and congratulations on being recognized by your peers. Mike, I've got 8 flyers and 2 plaques, so you're going to help me have to help hand these out. I think just with so many, stay up here again unless you want to come down?
Yeah, we'll stay up.
Gonna break the camera.
Yes.
You don't get to stand here, guys. You're gonna
Oh, yeah.
All right, who wants to be in the middle?
Camera wants to get everybody's.
Okay, now's the time for the consent agenda. We have white item C15 has been withdrawn. Are there any other items to be withdrawn or pulled? Seeing none, can I have a motion to approve?
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And now we have a time certain for 11 o'clock. Mr. Cronin.
There you should be. Right.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It's Bill Cronin, Pasco EDC. It's my pleasure to present to you the quarterly reports for our final Q4 of last fiscal year and Q1 of this year. And because we're doing both at once, I'm going to go through them fairly rapidly and make sure that we've got enough time for Q&A afterwards. Oops. Okay, that's not. Yeah. The PowerPoints, not the metrics reports. That's all right. So while he's doing that, I'll share. There's one. We finished off last year really well. Probably one of the most important things that people want to look at. That's Q1. Can we get Q4? They want to know how we did with the jobs and projects, the capital investment coming into the community, with the growth that we've got coming in. So it looks similar to the other one, but it's Q4. Okay. Verbally, I'll tell you as they're looking for it. Last year, we finished the year with 14 wins, and wins are companies' projects, either new companies coming into Pasco County or expansions where we're competing with other places in the United States. And the key driver for those are always jobs and capital investment coming in, new jobs to Pasco County. Our goal last year was 14. We hit it, and it was pretty much right almost at the very end of the fiscal year. So we set our bar just about right. We ended up with 1,182 new jobs for the community for last fiscal year, and $360 million of new capital investment. And that went over our goal of $250 million for the year. So that one we're really proud of. And that's new bricks and mortar, that's new capital investment in terms of machines, things that we get to keep here in this community that go on our tax rolls and also offset the taxes that our residents have to pay. And of that, there we go. And you'll remember that was an announcement that we made for Paducah, I believe, or was that, I'm sorry, yeah, that was a Zephyr Hills announcement. Go ahead and, yep, there we go. So of the pipeline and the activity that we've had, you'll see most of it's still in advanced manufacturing, but you'll see also life sciences creeping up 19% of our business recruitment activity. A lot of that has to do with Moffitt and the new cancer center in Sparrows campus coming in, but also all the smaller spinoffs and a lot of IT businesses that cross over with life sciences. Distribution logistics, we're seeing that go down a little bit. We're still a big consumer state, but we've got a lot of distribution centers already here. And I think a lot of us don't necessarily want to see more and more of those large boxes up against our roads like some of our neighboring counties. So that's actually good news there. We went out, and again, most of our time is still spent with our existing business. About 80% of our programs are dealing with existing business to help them grow. Worked with Career Source. We actually made a referral for one of their programs. Company visits, that's still our bread and butter. That's when our staff goes out, meets the company, looks under the hood, understands what they're up against, what the obstacles they have, how they can become more efficient. Last quarter, at the end of the year, we ended up with 82 direct company visits, and then workforce connections. And this is where we work with our partners, several of them you've seen here today, PHSC, AM Skills, others, to help make sure that our workforce is getting trained. We've made 37 connections for those programs throughout the year. $2.5 million in earned media value, and that's when other people are telling our story. So it's one thing when we tell the story, you guys pay us to tell the story. We're pretty much the marketing crew for business in the community, but when the others, media outlets and other publications tell our story, we know we're getting their attention. Website continues to get big hits. I think it's always interesting to see what they're looking at. Ready Sites is one of those that they continue to look at, but you look at where they're coming from. California, New York, Georgia, Virginia, and Texas. Now, 3 of those are pretty high tax states, and you know why they're looking at our area, but some of them are competitors in the same industries that we are, so it's not unusual for them to look at places that do the same industries pretty well. Engagement and followers still growing up there. That doesn't really shrink. People don't really leave the engagement once they start following our social media and those resources. And getting the news out to events, seminars, industry, peer organizations. We still do a lot of that, getting out, doing public speaking, making sure people know what resources are available here, and they know what kind of a business community that we have. That photo you might remember was end of last year. One of our staff members received the Young Innovators Award, the Dan Webster Award from the state. Still really proud of our team to get these statewide recognitions as individuals, makes our team that much stronger. And then where are we with our stakeholders? Well, we've got almost 100 now investors. That's the private sector folks that come alongside us and help to invest and offset that burden from the taxpayers so that they understand what we do as economic development and helps their businesses grow as well too. End of the year, we ended up raising $584,000 of private investment from local companies that support our mission. And then I would say also from the Penny for Pasco, I'll just dive right into it and leave some time at the end for Q&A. My Tech, of course, we had an announcement with one of our Ready Sites there. Double Branch Ranch, which is corner of 52 and I-75, I'm sorry, Double Branch, is now, you see them moving dirt. They should be going vertical here soon with a couple of new spec buildings going on site. And we're continuing to get visits and inquiries on the Ready Sites program. You saw last year we had over 24 inquiries, 29 responses to RFPs, people that were looking for sites to move their companies, presentations to consultants, 22, and then 7 site visits. That's when they actually come, want to look at the site, kick dirt, and we know they're really serious at that point. Those are all really good numbers for us. Internationally, We joined with Global Tampa Bay to host a trade mission to Vancouver. One of your commissioners joined us on that event. We also had a meeting in Mexico City with IMC, followed by one-on-one appointments for foreign direct investment, and did some speaking events down there as well, too. Export counseling, 60. That's where we're actually teaching companies how to export, how to find markets overseas, get their products out, and make more money and bring it back here to Pasco County. So we had the one trade mission for the year, which is our goal, which was the Vancouver. This next year, we'll have one coming up here in just a few weeks. And then trade-related events throughout the year, we had 8. Enhanced marketing, continue to tell this story, and this is over and above what we do in our general activities. So when special things come out, like a new Ready site, those things get additional marketing above what we would normally do. And then Workforce Connect, it's still our bread and butter is our workforce and our talent. And that program is really become more of a tool. We still call it a program, but it's a tool that we use in almost all of our business retention and expansion efforts and our business recruitment, because people want to know what we've got for a workforce and how they can navigate that spectrum of workforce training providers. Executive Success Program, that was the last class. So we phased out Executive Success Program and the Penn Network this fiscal year, as we were asked to remain flat for the year in terms of funding. And as we're waiting for the Ernst & Young strategy and rolling out some of those new recommendations, making room for that. Smart Start continues to do great. I think the location here in Dade City with the food incubator seems to still be one of the most popular ones, but I think the Holiday location is quickly coming up as being also as popular because we've got the maker space there, the CNC machines, 3D printers, things like that. And we hosted our very first rapid prototyping boot camp for inventors. So they can go out and make their invention, make a prototype, and then they get access to that facility to use and train on the machinery. We expect to see more and more of that, and that's not limited to just people on the west side. That's countywide. You can actually use that program. And then events with Smart Start, 983 participants throughout the year. That's almost 1,000 people in incubators and startups that are looking to grow their very small business. A lot of people think that we just work with those big companies that do the groundbreakings and ribbon cuttings. There's 1,000 participants right there of those small companies that still need hand-holding, and they need us to work with them to grow their market here. There's nothing better than showing that you're helping your existing business and your startups, especially when we're recruiting other companies, of how we take care of our existing business. It's the best testimonial that we have. There's the team, and if you like, I'd go right into Q1 so that, okay. Can we get to, okay, sorry guys, have you jumping through hoops today?
While that's coming up, Bill, when you mentioned the incubator for food, Regency Park Library's got a nice little setup there. And it might be good for them if they want to do an event. They could actually go right up there and do it too.
Yeah. So we've used some of the incubator members. I think we had the event at SunWest last year. We had one of them catered the event. We've also had a pitch competition at St. Leo, where one of the incubator members won the pitch contest, and now they actually have a bricks and mortar facility within the wellness center. It's one of my favorite programs out there. Of course, I like to eat and I like the food that they turn out, but it is something that is deep in our roots in terms of agriculture and food in the community too. So it's nice to continue to work in that area.
Yeah, they did a great job with the Scholar Fest. You had actually two vendors because one couldn't make it one of the nights, but they were phenomenal every step of the way. The food was delicious. People loved it. And good news is Advent Health has already said they're going to sponsor it again. So we've got a dates coming up. So
okay.
We'll get the word out. Look forward to having them again.
We'll get the word out. So Q1, again, we had another ribbon cutting groundbreaking. In this case, it was a ribbon cutting Gary line. You might remember the company came last year. Well, they're open and they're having at it. I mean, they've got so many employees out there, over 400. Remember, this had a career day or a hiring day, and they had them lined up around the block. And this is almost the most northwest portion of our county. To be able to show that much workforce in that area really sent a powerful message to people that we've got a skilled workforce that is here and ready, and they don't want to drive down to Tampa and St. Petersburg every day to work. So,
And Bill, how far ahead of the schedule were they to filling up all the jobs that were going to go get?
they ended up, it came so fast that they needed to bring in extra people just to get through the applications. They really didn't anticipate they were going to fill them that quick. We were way ahead of schedule in that. And they're very surprised in the process too. So, yeah, speed to market is important for these companies when they're coming in. So everything from how quickly we get the ground ready, permitting, but hiring, training, all of that. Because up until then, they're not making any money. So all of these things are important. That's where we all come together as a team. So far this quarter, 5 wins already. If you look at the jobs and the capital investment numbers, they seem pretty anemic. And let me tell you that of those 5, 2 of them, we haven't reported the jobs numbers and the capital investment. So next quarter, you're going to see that we got a commitment from both of those wins already to expand, and we're negotiating and probably without incentives going to be able to get those to expand even further. One of those 2 wins, I'll give you a little foreshadowing, is a company that we know from Brazil that had originally committed to 400,000 square feet building. We've got them at 1 million square feet now. So with 1 million square feet, I don't know if there's media in the room still, 1 million square feet, we know there's going to be a lot more jobs coming into the community and capital investment that comes along with that. But first and foremost will be that footprint. So 400,000 to 1 million, and that's just in this last year that we've worked with them, that they've said, yeah, we want to do more in Pasco. We love you guys, and we want to continue to see that grow. So stay tuned, a little foreshadowing there. Still heavy in advanced manufacturing, life sciences, high tech still up there, and you see a good cross-pollination between high tech and some of these other industries. They're kind of like peanut butter and jelly, high tech and life sciences now. If you've been to the hospital as a doctor lately, you see all the tech that's involved with that. Well, that means that there's jobs involved that you don't have to be a doctor, but you can still be in life sciences. That's really good for our community and our career and technical education programs. Already making referrals out to training programs and visiting companies, like I said, as far as last quarter, 21 already this quarter. And then I don't know if you recall, but I just showed you the earned media value for last year. It was 2.5 million for the entire year. First quarter this year, we're already over $3 million. And one of the reasons is one of our companies who started in our incubator, started in our food incubator, Lanky Lassies, and has the, I'm giving them a commercial. They've got bricks and mortar right across the street here. They were picked up by MSN, and it got all over nationwide news, and over $3 million worth of hits really drove that up with their extension, and the fact that she's a U.S. Marine veteran as well too. So go buy some shortbread and show some love. We really like to see those companies grow and expand, and she's exporting now too internationally. Still top landing sites, California, Georgia, New York, Virginia, same locations. That tells you they're still not taking care of their business in some of those states. And we're still getting the same growth in followers on regular social media too. Already attended 21 events this past first quarter, attended 3 conferences and seminars, but made 8 presentations to industry groups. And usually most of those groups are anywhere from 50 to a couple hundred people talking about Pasco and doing business in Pasco. We're up to 101 investors. So just as of a couple of minutes ago, I was 97, now we're up to 101. If I stand here long enough, I guess it'll just keep growing, but 101 new are investors that help on the private sector side for Pasco EDC. Some of the new ones include JP Morgan, Bank of Central Florida, Thirsty Buffalo Brewing. You might remember one of our former employees started a business and came back as an investor. So we don't mind when we have alumni that grow their own business. And Goodwin Mills. And then for the, here's a picture of the food vendor fair that we have each year at the incubator here in Dade City in Tommytown. And Baduco company that I may have just referred to won the Deal of the Year for the Crew Excellence Awards, and that was in Zephyr Hills. Our Amazon Robotics facility on 52 also broke ground this first quarter. And we continue to get inquiries in advanced manufacturing for these other sites. So 5 site inquiries already, 5 responses to RFPs, 3 presentations to consultants. No visits yet, but I know that's gonna change now that holidays are over and people are back in the swing of things. Promoted Pasco County at the Japanese SUS Japan event in Charlotte, North Carolina. Also attended the governor's trade mission to Italy, which this was something that was fairly last minute, you might recall. Several people from all over the state, but Tampa Bay very well represented, and we got some decent leads out of there as well too. So Florida showed strong, a lot of similarities between Italy and Florida these days in terms of the style of government. We're both peninsulas. They both have yachts and fast cars. So they both like food. There's a lot of great things in common. I would say watch Italy as far as the EU goes, as far as being a really strong potential partner for Florida and eventually for Pasco too. Next trade mission, February 24th to the 27th is Mexico City. And that will be in conjunction with Select USA and the Global Tampa Bay Alliance that will be bringing companies down from the 3 counties, from Pasco, Pinellas, and Hillsborough. And that's just in a couple weeks. And that actually, anytime we have new flights coming from the airport, going into the airport, new trade lanes, we try to follow that up with a trade mission to show those airlines that it's not just tourist traffic, it's also business traffic. And this was planned as part of that new announcement of direct flights from Tampa into Mexico City. 7 counseling sessions already this quarter, 3 trade-related events, and then that trade mission that I mentioned will be the one for the year on that slide. Enhanced marketing, launched the Double Branch Super Park Ready Site video. So any of the ready sites, we do additional marketing, and that's videos, do publications in different languages. Encourage you to take a look at that video. It's probably one of the best ones that we've done thus far, and it's kind of energizing too when you watch it and see all the things that we're advertising, all the assets that we have locally here for companies that come and invest in Pasco County. And then Workforce Connect, BizBlast. We had our Pasco 50, but we also had BizBlast. That's when we go out and instead of waiting for them to come to us, we go out to the companies and we set up something in the community, usually an industrial park where people can come at their leisure or their lunch break and talk about workforce and the programs that are available for workforce training. And then Smart Start continues to do well. Our 3 incubators and the staff have been recognized in the Tampa Bay Business Journal's Innovation Award in the entrepreneurial support category. They got an award this year from TBBJ. And already 291 event participants just in this first quarter, 46 events from our Smart Start incubators. And again, there's the team. Couldn't do it without them. They're the ones doing the work. I'm just here presenting to you today, and I'll stop there and see if y'all have any questions.
Any questions? Commissioner Waitman.
Thanks, sir. So you mentioned tangible taxes. Obviously, that's what's set at the state level, but has there been, whenever folks are looking at coming here for business, large and small, has there ever been any conversation around tangible taxes? It's probably not something that we think about ordinarily in the impact to their bottom line. I'm personally not a fan of tangible taxes.
Right.
But has there been any conversation in any of your prospects or business owners surrounding
There,
tangible taxes?
there has, and at the state level as well, too. So depending, and you've seen some efforts in different industries where they've made some exceptions, like for R&D and manufacturing, and things like that. So there's recognition at the state level that it's there. For years, anytime we look to see reduction in some of those, and the same happened back with rents on leased buildings. You remember, we're one of the only states that was charging tax on rent. And when we look at that from a competitiveness standpoint, it used to be that the state would come back and say, well, you know, we don't charge personal income tax here, we've got to charge tax somewhere else. The last few years, I've seen that attitude change quite a bit, where I think we're starting to see some changes in that position that we're pretty healthy overall. And I think there is an opportunity for us to continue to whittle away at some of that.
So how do we do that? Do we allow key business to go up to North Florida and discuss it? Like, who's going to walk out there on a limb and?
Yeah. So I think that's where your industry associations, your Florida Chamber, those types of groups that have lobbyist ability to do true lobbying. We're a C3. We can educate and advocate, which we do. C6s can get out and do some true lobbying for it. I think lots of times there's so much going on here that they just have to pick what their priority is. And usually there's more than one priority for each legislative session. So making sure that it's in those top 1, 2, or 3 for an organization sometimes is hard because there's so many things going on here. But that's who I see as being the groups, and Manufacturers Association would be one as well, too.
I'd just be curious to see the impact to say somebody like whomever, pick one, who you think that might be the most impacted by it, and see if they might be willing to share that information or have a discussion in maybe breakout session or something during the EDC or just one-on-one. But just find tangible taxes to be an interesting tax. So thank you, Bill.
No, I think that would help us become more competitive, that's for sure.
Ms. Roakley?
Yeah. Bill, it looks like you've had a great year and kind of busting at the seams, which the whole county is with all development and everything we've got. But, you know, I just heard here recently that we've had over 160 MPUDs in the pipeline. And so we're looking for a bigger and better push in this year too, because a lot of things are coming forward. And along that comes a lot of good business, good jobs for people in Pasco County where our citizens can live here, play here, and also work here close to home. And that's what we want to get to be. So I think we are our premier county because we offer an awful lot that we used to not offer. And jobs was one of those. So we brought that up to the forefront, and I think you'll see continued growth on that.
Thanks, Commissioner. I think it's really important for us to continue to focus on the job piece of those MPUDs.
Yeah.
A lot of people are seeing the growth around here, and I think some are panicked about the residential growth. But once the employment center piece of those MPUDs fills in and people aren't having to get on the road and drive for their jobs, that congestion will change. And we want to keep that local. I mean, there's no sense that we should house people here and have the job somewhere else.
Right. We can't change a whole lot about some of those developments, but we can sure make them look like they should look. And we can architecturally and with landscape and those issues, we can make that look like we want it to be. And especially in East Pasco County's got more growth than probably other areas right now in this county. We need to make it look like we want it to look. And we're very rural and we want to keep that atmosphere out there too.
Yep.
So, thank you.
Commissioner Yeager?
No, you guys are doing a great job. It's so exciting to hear all the projects and, everybody interested in our county. And we're one of the fortunate counties that we still have land. So it's important, I feel that, we're not giving away our land, that we really do the research before we, who we have come in our community. So, and what that looks like. But thank you for all you do.
No, thank you, Commissioner. We do brag about our green space as well, too. And for a lot of companies, that makes a big difference. 84,000 acres of protected green space is a pretty big deal, especially in a state that doesn't have that. We're one of the few places that has people and land, and we take care of both.
No, I'd like to say you're doing a phenomenal job as always. I want to tell you about a couple of opportunities coming up. Recently met with a container homes company that's thinking about where they wanted to locate. Happens to be a local person, so I told him about the Hudson Industrial Park. Very interested in doing that because there's a lot of a coastal impact that'll be there that he wants to kind of do it along that way. We're going to try to have some meeting coming up. I think you might have already been noticed on it. Another one coming up, a company called Energy Tech. They're expanding the commercial launch of this 6th-generation advanced sodium-ion battery. Could be a huge thing for the nation, especially with trying to relay or get off the China supply all the way through. New technology that's out, or 6 generations, well, not that new, but up and coming that I think I want to definitely get your involvement so we get some state help to bring this one in.
You can count on it, and thank you again, you guys. You're some of the best extensions of our team, and we don't have to pay you, you know. I think you end up to be some of our best economic developers as a commission, but and of course our partners at the county too.
Yeah. And one suggestion I got for next year, I know you can't do it now, but on NetFest, I know it's coming up pretty soon, it's gonna be a big event. You happen to run it the same week as Chasco. If you could maybe take a look next year and try to avoid that. It's on a Thursday, which is not a bad night, but there is a golf tournament going on, which I'll help and run, but I'm gonna do both, but just, it's gonna be a little bit tight for me to get to
I know
both.
we tried to do it a little earlier so it wouldn't be so hot, but yeah, we'll take a look at that and maybe we can arrange for some back and forth between the two events as well.
Yeah,
too.
we
So
actually still could, because.
buy your cowboy hats and boots now.
All right, and
Well,
again,
thank you again for all you do and your support.
Thanks for the great work you're doing, appreciate you.
All right, take care.
All right, thanks. And your team. Okay, so now we'll go to committee reports. Commissioner Oakley.
I have a few. Had the opportunity to visit with the Advent Health this week. They had a ribbon cutting on the new cath lab. Did we have some pictures or not? Maybe not. If not, oh, there you go. Yep. And that's in Zephyr Hills, and the Advent Health in Zephyr Hills, so, yep. Very very new equipment and to get the job done. So also I had the pleasure of speaking at the First Presbyterian Church in Dade City. Just gave them an outline of what's going on in East Pasco County, based on the flooding that we've had and a lot of the issues from this flooding. So a lot of people think the flooding just started recently because we had more than I heard somebody say this morning, 1 in 200 year flood. We actually had a 1 in 500 year flood. And it always floods when we have those kind of events here. First time in my life during these floods that I saw the river actually come up to 301 and underneath 301 going to the west. And I've never seen that in my lifetime. I've been here the entire 79 years. So it's those things that happen. Then I went on to the opportunity to go to the governor's luncheon and there at the state fair last Thursday and got to see my friend Wilton Simpson and others. And Mr. Moffitt was named the Citizen of the Year in the Tampa Bay area, and it was well deserved. So a lot of people there. I see that some of them from Dade City that lived in Tampa for years, but they, like Tommy Touchton, that they just did the new park down here coming in the south side of Dade City, the new park he dedicated to his mother and from many years ago. But that's a new design on that park. Very well welcome. Then we had Pasco County Fire Services. There we go. More and more new firemen coming into Pasco County, and the D shift is on its way. So we're getting a lot of it's a total change within the last 2 to 3 years of our support with the firefighters and all that, how we've changed. People are wanting to come to Pasco County instead of being run off before. 2 years ago, we lost in public safety, we lost like, I think 72 employees. And this past year, we only lost 2. So it's a big change, and I don't know what that number will be this year, but I hadn't heard that number yet, but we've got a lot of good firemen. I know in that graduating class this week, there was some EMS and firefighters actually were coming from Plant City back into Pasco County, and they actually live in Pasco County already. So it was just great to see that. I had the opportunity to participate in the Employee Appreciation Day yesterday. Well, I could tell you some secrets about that, but I probably don't need to talk about it. But there was 3 men there from our staff that, well, I'm not going to say what I said to them yesterday. That wouldn't go over good. But we had 3 Davids picking up trash. So, but they did a great job and stayed up with it. It's like the 3 Musketeers, David Allen, David Engel, and David Goldstein all working together and made a great team out there. But all the staff and everybody that helped, we certainly I think everybody had a great time, especially in the, what do you call that? The puff ball or something? What is that ball that everybody's in? Kabbalah took a hit and went on the floor, and well, he never made the floor because he's got this huge ball thing around him. So, but it was a lot of fun watching that and seeing different ones do it. But just a great day, and I think everybody really enjoyed it. That's 2 years in a row at that park. I don't know why, but that park seems to allow us to be able to do that with, for feeding anywhere from 2,500 to 3,000 people. And I think they told me at one time they made to take out to different firemen, and they took out over 700 dinners to feed the firemen and others that had to be working at the same time we had Appreciation Day. So we surely thank everybody that took part in a great thing for Pasco County. And this is the kind of thing that continues to make us premier. Thank you. That's it.
Oh, sorry, so, Commissioner Whitney. I'll get my pictures ready to go.
Yeah, plenty of time.
Very respectful and patient, I appreciate that.
Oh,
Slightly
man.
humorous.
Yes. So good stuff yesterday, Mike and team. Enjoyed being the slaw man with Commissioner Yeager watching my 6 as slaw, the slaw lady, slaw woman. But enjoyed seeing all the happy faces. Commissioner Oakley's right. I mean, West Chapel District Park works out fantastic. Great offerings for all the employees to do all the different activities throughout the day. I don't know if you have a head count, but it seemed like there was more participation this year than last year. Just beautiful weather at Chamber of Commerce Day. Some more good news. So Pasco County, I don't know if Keith's here. I thought I saw him, maybe earlier. But Pasco County, we're going to be hosting the 2026 Dixie Softball World Series at Starkey Park, which is pretty cool. And, as that event draws near, want to make sure that it's a fantastic experience. The Chris Nelson from the West Pasco Girls Fast Pitch Softball Association put in a bid, and we won. And so there's going to be 18 teams from 9 different states coming to the Starkey Ranch District Park softball fields. And as we know, we're trying to balance the needs for fields and field space, and softball keeps growing. It might be something we need to take a look at, especially if we're starting, the Sports Coast brand takes off and we're starting to capture more, notoriety and folks coming into the state from out of state. And so 18 teams from 9 different states, and also include 4 teams from Florida, which is pretty cool. And so that'll take place July 17th through 22nd. And so as that draws near for 2026, hopefully we'll get some good pictures and notoriety out of that. And the last thing, just to put on everybody's radar, I don't know if Goldstein's here, but I'm not sure if you saw your email, but we have another Live Local Act application. Quite frustrating, going into an existing luxury apartment complex that sits directly west off Oakley Boulevard behind the Grove. It's a really nice complex as it stands today. And it's a Canadian-based company, and they're looking to file their exemptions. We'll see what the Housing Corp from up in Tallahassee says, and we'll take it from there. But, you know, the Live Local Act isn't going away, it seems, and there's definitely holes in the program and significant unintended consequences, especially for Pasco County. And so since we're in the legislative session, we have another real-life example for our lobbyists to use. And, you know, maybe we get our delegation or somebody from up there to come look at the complexes that are applying. You know, obviously, they're going to want to come in and target Wesley Chapel, which has seemed to have been ground zero. You know, it's the highest producing tax revenue district of the county commissions, and I think they're just trying to find a way to game the system. So anyway, just wanted to give an update there.
If I comment to that?
Sure, fire away.
So, and correct me if I say this wrong, but on a land use decision, we have all the flexibility we want in making a decision for denial on anything, correct?
In the comprehensive plan, you have legislative discretion. When you get to quasi judicial, you have much less discretion.
Right. So that means the zoning.
Yes, the zoning.
So I'm gonna say, I think we need to just, at this point, until we get this whole thing resolved, from here on through, we should put a hard stop on any apartments coming in on land use decisions. Because you could get stuck some other time down the road, and just kind of let's send a message out there. So we do have flexibility. We can't do it in zoning, but we're gonna do it in land use. So at least consider that. And if we want to decide to go further with it, then so be it. But I think it's something we can do, and we probably should send a message out there. We don't want to see this Live Local stuff.
I think it's clear that we say no to the Live Local. We've got to, what we're seeing now is existing complexes. What's it, a 5-year roll or 3-year roll from when they had their CO essentially? Yes. Yeah, I don't know how we deter that. I mean,
well,
if you put a stop, I mean, if we, so moving forward, like what would be that line? Because you have projects in queue.
Well, you continue to opt out every year, and then while they can apply, if they are outside the target area, or if you've opted out of Live Local, then it's not discretionary for the property appraiser to give them the tax break. And I can let David fill in the details for you, but the first year we had issues because they didn't give us the ability to opt out. We're now into the next year that when they modified the legislation the second term, we can now pass those resolutions, which the board has done.
So how do we do that to existing builds?
So the opt-out applies to existing builds too. So when we opted out, so with the particular apartment complex you're referencing, the property appraiser intends to inform them that we've opted out and that the school board has opted out. So as long as we can continue to opt out, we should be generally safe on the tax side. We're not safe on the land use side, but on the tax side, as long as that Schimberg report still continues to show that we have a surplus in the Tampa Bay MSA, which the last 2 years has showed that we have a surplus. In fact, we have an item coming to you on the next agenda where we're going to opt out again this year because we still have a surplus. So as long as we continue to have a surplus in that 80 to 120% of AMI range, we can continue to opt out. The only other thing I'm going to add is that on new land use approvals, new MPUDs, anything that has multifamily entitlements, we make them waive the right to seek that tax exemption.
So to what Commissioner Mariano's comments, if the board goes that route and there's not inventory, then what's our vulnerability in 12 to 24 months? Is that like?
I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure that's going to necessarily help you because you need to keep up your inventory. The fact that we have a surplus is what allows us to opt out. So if you stop allowing it completely, at some point you may lose your surplus and then you won't be able to opt out. So my personal opinion is I don't think it's a good idea to necessarily say we're going to stop all multifamily. Because at least the way the legislature has structured it, you need to still have a surplus in Tampa Bay MSA to be able to opt out.
So then the industry would probably pivot and attack our industrial, more commercial zone properties and use the land use piece.
I mean, yeah,
Then we
and I
lose
also tell you
job
that
creating spaces.
Ralph Lair just sent me, there's a proposed bill this session that's even worse, in my opinion, because it allows existing office and hotels to convert to multifamily apartments and get tax breaks and be exempt from zoning and land use.
This thing just keeps evolving to a bigger pile of crap.
I don't disagree with you. And when Ralph sent me this proposed bill, I said, this is even worse than Live Local, because this means that you could have approved a project for office or light industrial or hotel, assume that's what you're getting, to create jobs, create tourism, all the things that we want. And then a year later, they convert to apartments. And there's nothing we can do about it.
So the new bills Live Local on steroids.
Yes.
In a more
yes.
negative way. So the legislature's potentially passed some of the worst piece of legislation in a very long time out there. Now they're doubling down and filing something that's even.
They call it
worse
something nice. They call it adaptive reuse, which makes it sound like it's some great thing. But really, it's being able to convert office buildings, hotels to multifamily residential apartments. And these could be hotels and office buildings that we gave a break on mobility fees to because they were hotels and office buildings. Or maybe we gave them tax incentive because they were office buildings. And then they turn around and convert to apartments. I don't know if that bill's going anywhere. I don't know if Ralph is here to speak to it, but I mean, all the stuff that Mr. Cronin works on to get all these wins with office and light industrial could just.
Well, it's concerning. You hear this board, we want good quality hotels. We want to go from C level to B and A level hotels. Commissioner Mariano advocates for it all the time. And it's troublesome.
And as you say, Wesley Chapel was the highest district going on when, for instance, Advent Health, Gordy Zimmerman built a hockey rink out there. That came in, that brought in all sorts of hotels. All of a sudden, we get stays up here. That enabled us to go build the Wiregrass Sports Campus, brought even more. So the money that it generates is phenomenal right here, rather than going somewhere else. I think we did a great job with hiring 3 lobbyists, one especially hopefully close with the governor. And maybe we need to go, when we go up there, set a meeting up with the governor's office to try to find out where he is at in the bill. Because if he's against it, we know it's gonna, well, it may not even stop because they may have a supermajority.
The bed taxes are incredibly important to the legislature, right? Let's not hurt the bed tax the opportunities that the bed tax provides every county.
I just wanted to follow up. Ralph Lair, Intergovernmental Affairs Officer, from what David Goldstein said, House Bill 409, adaptive reuse of land, that just was filed. They're in the House. It does not have a Senate companion bill at this time. We'll continue to follow that bill and see where it goes. As for the Live Local bill that passed a couple of years ago, Senator Pasadomo has made the statement in an article that she will revisit the issue since there's been so much negativity coming from local governments regarding that legislation. So we stand poised to sit down and talk with her. I've created a one-page discussion point that we could share with our delegation as well as her if she wishes to engage that conversation with us. And we will continue to do your wishes as we move forward in this legislative session.
Who filed the bill?
Caruso, Representative Caruso.
From where?
Pardon me?
Where's he from?
He's on the east coast of the county. I will say during the special session. He had he butted heads with the speaker, who then, I believe, stripped him of his chairmanship in his office. So I don't know if his bill will move at all this session.
It's just interesting that, I don't know, it's a Republican member.
Commissioner Yeager?
I heard everything I needed. My question was answered.
Okay. Do you think there's a chance, Ralph, for a permanent opt-out provision that you could put in there?
I don't know if they'll address that issue. I mean, I think you're seeing more and more local governments following us and seeking the opt-out with the tax exemption, and have been very appreciative that we were able to get that in, previously in the previous session. So that's good to see that our other local governments besides Pasco County does see that it has a negative impact on them, and they're doing the same thing, is opting out of the tax exemption. What we're trying to address, hoping moving forward, is either permanent and also address the land use issue.
I think if you could get the permanent, and I hopefully with the lobbyists that we've hired in our delegation, if we get that out there, that would solve this. So we don't have to worry about from year to year to year, and we can actually plan properly for what we're going to go do. It'll make it a lot easier for everybody.
This is just my opinion. I think the reason why they don't want to make it permanent, I think they want you to prove that you do have enough product in your community to receive that. So they want to make sure you have a surplus. That's just my opinion, but that's what we will work toward, is trying to get a permanent solution.
Thank you.
On the tax exemption.
Mr. Whitman.
Thank you, Chair. Ralph, so essentially the bill in the Florida legislature is forcing local governments to build multifamily housing stock, rental stock. So say an incorporated city or county, they want to prioritize levels of home ownership over rental. This, if you want to, it's going to be a full-time job for somebody or a job for somebody. Mike, we're going to have to keep up with rental stock potentially, and then be very deliberate on where and when, to Commissioner Mariano's point, where and when multifamily product is approved. That way we're not in violation, but it doesn't stop the spread of the multifamily product. It doesn't allow proper planning to put the multifamily product in maybe a particular area that we want to see it in. If we end up segregating certain parts of the county and say only multifamily here, and you just have whatever county just loaded with all the multifamily product, it's going to have a bad look. It's just a mess. It completely handcuffs the planning operation for every council and board in the state. So I think that's an important piece that we really need to discuss with them.
The other thing I would add to that is that our real deficit on the rental side is below 50% of AMI. We just got a report done. I just got it literally today. We don't have much of it. When you get into even above 50% of 80, 120, we don't have a serious deficit of rental housing in that income range. So part of the problem with Live Local is it just misses the mark. We have a need for rental, but it's below 50% of AMI. And then we have a need on owner occupied. We actually have this report shows that we have a deficit of owner occupied affordable housing, but Live Local doesn't tackle that at all. Doesn't do anything to help owner occupied affordable housing. So I think you're right, Commissioner Weidman, that our bigger problem in Pasco County is probably affordable owner occupied homes. But Live Local is not addressing that. It's only looking at the rental. Even the opt-out is only looking at rental. It's not looking at owner occupied. And so it's not that we don't have an affordable housing need in Pasco. We do. But Live Local is not targeting what we actually have a deficit of. And I'm happy to explain that to anybody that wants to listen to me.
Commissioner Oakley.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something to it because we've approved quite a bit of multifamily coming in my district out around Curly Road and 52. If you think about the numbers of some of those apartment complexes that are coming in, we're going to have an overabundance of apartments coming, especially in that area. That comes in with VOPH. So we'll be seeing that for a while.
Yeah, I'm not predicting we will have a serious shortage of the
Yeah, I don't think so.
upper income apartment units in Pasco. But we are going to continue to have a deficit in the lower income. When I say lower income, I mean below 50% of AMI. So that's where we have a true need throughout the county, not just in any
No,
particular area.
but what you're going to see is what they're approved as, and they're going to go file, who they file with HUD. They're going to file for the exemption a year or two down the road. Like, you're starting to see the trend of existing luxury apartment complexes without estate owners or investment firms filing for the exemption. And so, as Commissioner Oakley's point is, they come on with Connected City, because currently in the plan, the only entitlements that are left are what, multifamily? I mean, the vulnerability is great in what's potentially approved. And so we approve it for one thing today, and then 12 or 24 months later, the exemptions are there. So, and it's going to be the same thing in VOPH or wherever else in the county. It's going to be a game. It is a game that they're playing.
I agree with you, and I guess if we were getting true affordable, so what the legislature did not remove is the opt-out for, or the tax exemption for below 80% of AMI. That was, you can't opt out of that currently. However, we don't have a single apartment builder that's actually seeking it, because they won't build below 80% of AMI. They probably, because they're, at that point, they're starting to lose money without some kind of subsidy. So you're right that the only people that are really seeking the tax exemption or playing this game are the ones that are charging market rate rents anyway. So that's why they're not meeting our need.
I'll say later on in my committee reports after we get done today, I'm going to actually bring up a project that I think could actually go after the low AMI for not only rental, but for ownership. Right along the coast and be a lot safer and hurricane resistant.
Well, another question is, if they opt out when they're first coming in to build their development for multifamily, within the next 5 years, they can't opt back into that?
If they are subject to one of our newer approvals, they have a condition that says they can never opt for that tax exemption.
Okay.
But that's only the projects we've approved since Live Local that have that. I mean, if it's a project that was approved prior to Live Local, we had no idea that tax break was ever going to occur. And the three that actually sought the tax break all happened, we approved those well before Live Local ever existed.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
And then they built their project. They've been up and running sometime in the last 5 years, and then they sought the tax exemption. Unfortunately, the first two were denied by the property appraiser. That was good. And then the third one, the property appraiser basically going to tell them we opted out, so don't even bother pursuing this. The only reason there's a minor technicality, which is that each taxing authority has to opt out. So we opted out, the school board opted out. We're not positive that mosquito control opted out or not, even though they have a very small amount of the tax bill. In theory, they could seek the tax exemption for just the mosquito control taxes, but I'm not even sure that's worth doing. Or I guess it's mosquito control and swift mud may not have opted out.
But as a county and for all our citizens, we do need to look at affordable housing and affordable apartments when we can.
I think,
They are
in my
very much
opinion, based
needed.
on the report I just saw, if you have a project that's below 50, 60% of AMI, that's something that we do have a shortage of and that you probably should be encouraging.
Right.
In addition, when you get to home prices, owner occupied, that are below 300,000, that's something that we have a shortage of that you should be encouraging, because we don't, a lot of the single family that we're approving now has no restrictions on price or affordability. And so we probably have a surplus of housing, single family housing that's higher priced and a deficit of what's lower priced.
Right. Okay.
All right, it's noontime, so we'll take a break for lunch. We'll be back at 1:30.
Okay. Thanks, sir.